Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering, and today, Yaesu. It's time for the Manufacturer Showcase. This is the show where we feature one of our 160 plus vendors, and we're going to talk about Yaesu and the new FT710 with John Kruk. Hello, John.
How you doing, Tim?
Good. John, the buzz, the excitement, it's all really good. What's going on?
We obviously the 710 came out about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, and it has been quite an amazing little rig. A lot of people have had a lot of great enjoyment with it. I'm even enjoying it myself. I did my first POTA Parks on the Air with it, and new to our Yaesu lineup, offering once again another option in our fantastic Yaesu HF SDR line of radios.
Talk about how the FT710 fits into the lineup of the Yaesu radios. We get a lot of questions about, well, should I get an FTDX10 or should I get the FT710?
That's a very good question, Tim. We get a lot of it. And the concept is to understand is that we've had a long tradition in the Yaesu product line of offering a very high-end top of the line. And in this case, it would be the FTDX 101 series. And then we offer a kind of a, you don't want to say trimmed down, slim down, but like another affordable option, which in this case would be the FTDX 10. But where the 710 comes in is where we are offering another solution to customers that don't necessarily need the features and stuff that the 101 and the 10 has. So I think the best way to kind of answer that question is what does the 710 have differently than the 10? And the biggest thing right that is roofing filters. So obviously the 101 has a VC tune, those roofing filters. The FTDX 10 has roofing filters, and that's before the FPGA. But the 710, in order to make it smaller, more compact, and a better price point for people wanting to experience SDR, we eliminated the roofing filters. But here's what we did. We did something different. And what we did is we dither the audio signal coming in. So if you actually take a look at how the FT710 is designed, it comes in through bandpass filters, then it goes into a divider, and then it goes automatically into the FPGA, which is the SDR receiver. From that point there is we dither the signal. Now, dithering is basically, for layman's terms, taking that processed or that cleaned up signal and re-injecting it back in to the FPGA. And that will go ahead and once again, even clean that signal up even further. And then we put it into a very extensive DSP network and filtering circuit in there. And then this is where it really kind of shines is we allow that AES audio feature to really come in there and take that signal and allow you to manipulate it to your audio tone levels so you can hear that weak signal in it.
It's just tremendous. I mean, the price point, the performance is really good, John. You want to talk about the value here?
Yeah. So, and that's a good one too, because a lot of people have asked, they said, well, why would we have this smaller rig? Why would we have that small feature on there? We already have smaller rigs like the FT991. Well, the FT991's not a SDR. It is still an analog receiver, but because it's so small, it's compact, it allows you to actually go mobile or transportable mobile on there, or as we kind of are joking around, I'll call POBL on there because it's small, it's compact, it's got a mounting bracket, it's got a handle on it. It comes with that additional speaker. So that speaker you see on that picture there comes with the radio. Now, this is once again in a very, very small form factor that, yes, it's not as small as, let's say, the 891. Of course not. It's not necessarily designed to be a mobile radio, but it allows you to take it mobile. Once again, on mine, what I did when I took it out on Parks on the Air, it started to rain on me. So it was small enough, compact enough to put it on the dash of my truck and still be able to use that. But more importantly, I think the thing is that this radio is designed to be used in the different environments. So it's designed to sit on your desk or in your ham shack and be able to use it. Has that color touchscreen display on there, has the functionalities that the 10 and the 101 do for looking at that signal, pulling off that video display on there. But yet, once again, small enough and compact to take in the mobile with you. And it even works with our ATAS 120 antenna. So if someone is truly looking for a radio to say, you know what, I want to take it camping with me. I want to, like I did, take it driving in the vehicle with me. Great. I can hook up my ATAS 120 antenna to it. It hooks in nicely to the power of the truck, because I have, HF. Of course, you have to have an HF setup power supply in your truck, right? And it's just absolutely kind of an amazing radio that you can take anywhere with you on it, and it's good to go.
The Parks on the Air thing, John, I'm glad you brought that up, because that is so popular now. I mean, every weekend, and even during the week, but every weekend, guys are going out, and this radio is perfect for that.
It is, but I always get told now, of course, once again, it says, because it's the 891, but I hear so many people come up to me and say, hey, John, I take my 891 out on Parks in the Air. I like it. It's great and stuff. But then they were always going ahead and saying, I wish I had a waterfall display. I wish, I had, it's a good receiver for a mobile, but, for something, I wish I was something more smaller and compact. Well, that's where a lot of people are saying, you know what, I'm taking my 710 out on the air. I'm taking it out there. Now I got the waterfall display. Now I got the actual 3DSS display on there, which, by the way, I will tell you, that actually helped me out a lot when I'm doing Parks on the Air as either the activator, or sometimes I'll do some of the hunting now, or even there was a couple of QSO parties last weekend that I was operating in, because you can see that signal so much better now, because the 891 doesn't really have a display for showing good in-depth graphics for those peaks and stuff like that in the signal. This is where that 710 is really fitting the bill for many people. And once again, not that difficult. Power demand and consumption, not that hard at all. I purposely did with my ATAS 120 on Parks on the Air, ran it at about 60. I think maybe at one time I went up to maybe 70 watts, but the most I was drawing on sideband was 10 amps. So not only is this radio small and compact size, it doesn't draw a lot of amperage. It still does its job, but it's truly just an amazing radio. And more so for even just the average person. I got a 5,000 sitting here. I got my 10, I got a 991, and now I got the 710 to add on to there. And I'll tell you, across the whole board, that 710 just fits that niche of, hey, it's a small, nice additional HF radio for where you got field day. Well, you got winter field day coming up, field day next summer, or whatever opportunity you want to use in the field.
Yeah. So, field operations, you're right, John, are very popular and becoming even more popular as time goes on. John, let's take a look at the chat room here. We've got Victor Uniform 3 Tango November Lima. Now, this is India. He's live. We're live here. It's in the middle of the night, 1 o'clock in the morning over there in India. Kilo 4 Zulu Delta Zulu Matt is on with us, and also one of the great chairmen of the Hamcation, John, is on with us. November 4 Juliet Tango Kilo. Nice to have you on, John. And one of the bloggers from onallbands.com, the DX Engineering blog, Greg says FT710 looks like a great addition to the Yaesu line. High-end features at an entry-level price point. Congratulations. And John,
thank you, Greg.
Take a look at the Sherwood results. Really good.
Yeah, we are very proud of that. The FTDX 101, of course, coming in number 1, the FTDX 10 coming in the 3rd place, and now the FT710 literally right behind it for the number 4 place. And I think that really kind of, I guess want to give comment to our engineering staff, because they took a look at it. And, when you make a new radio from a manufacturer standpoint, you have to take a look at how or why what you would make a radio. Why are you going to make a radio? Just to make a radio? No. and really needs to fit the need. And like I gave that example earlier, we had the FTDX 5000, we did the 3000. So that's kind of that aspect of the 101 and the 10. And then we came out with the 1200. Now the 1200 had a slightly different receiver than the 3000 and the 5000. But what it did is it gave you a very good sampling of that performance with the 5 and the 3000 in the 1200. Same thing here with the 710. The 710 offers that same great performance with, in essence, the same receiver, but we do it a little bit differently. And people have asked, they said, well, isn't this directly just another FTDX 10? No, it's not. And I will speak from personal usage that the 10 is great when you're using that filtering. But for me, I'm kind of an audiophile. I really, really, really love the audio. That's me. And what I found out with that 710 is just by using that AESS feature on there, whether you go from 0, which is it's not really in effect, all the way up to 100%, which does the full true balancing between there. I will tell you, I'm picking out signals, just going ahead and just adjusting it for me anywhere between 50 and 65%. And it just is amazing because you'll tune it, and all of a sudden, bam, you just hear the signal that you've never heard before, even at the band. It's amazing.
No, the technology that you've got in there is really something special. And our friend Jeff, November 3, Juliet Dellis, asks, why was the decision made not to include any VHF or UHF in this radio?
Well, a couple different reasons why is because we wanted to, first of all, allow people to experience HF SDR of our product line. Some people, the FTDX 10, I've heard people say it, the FTDX 10 is just too much of a radio for them. And I could see that. I can understand that. It does seem very intimidating. The 101, I've had people that said they will never look at a 101, not because they hate the radio, because they hate Yaesu, but they're like so many knobs and buttons and everything, and it becomes really, really overwhelming for them. But there are people out there that want to have high quality HF SDR technology, but don't want to spend the high quality price that comes with it. The general rag chewers, the people who get on and I talk to on 80 meters at night because we just always get together and talk to one another. This is that price point on there. VHF, UHF is kind of an interesting thing. You don't see nothing now, and I'm not allowed to talk about upcoming things, but I've been saying this ever since COVID. You can go back through all the interviews. Good things are always coming. And if it goes ahead and is any testament to what we did with the 101, the 10, and now the 710, everybody, good things are coming.
That is great news, John. And Russell says, what is the maximum power for FT6? Well, that would be FT4 or FT8 on the FTDX 101 MP. What's the max power?
That is something that's kind of I call it a left Twix, right Twix thing. We do not recommend going anything over than 50 watts. And the reason being is because you have to understand it's not a limitation of the radio, but it's the purpose of the mode of operation. FT8 is not designed to really have to be, sending it at 100 watts and stuff like that. We recommend 50 watts on all of our radios for FT8. And that is at very carefully monitored power on there, because 50 watts will get you very good range with it, but it's a very heavy duty transmit kind of cycle and operation at FT8.
Okay. No, that's good advice. And Papa Yankee 4, Mike Alpha Bravo from Brazil, he says he loves his Yaesu. And also we've got Alpha Golf 7 X-Ray Hotel on. And from Colorado, it's Alpha Charlie 0 Victor. And Whiskey Alpha 4, Mike Oscar Mike from Kentucky. Also Kilo Juliet 7 Germany Echo Zulu. He says it's a nice rig.
Well,
and from Germany, home of RF Kit, we've got Reinhard, Delta Hotel 3, November Alpha Bravo, and Kilo 7 Bravo Whiskey Charlie, November 8 Tango Hotel Juliet, and Daniel, Kilo Fox 0 Kilo Delta Echo. He says, thank you for going live with this. I recently got my general ticket, and I'm looking to get my first HF rig. The information here is quite helpful. John, what do you think about the 710 for a first rig?
I was just going to say that because it really does fit that bill. What I do is, obviously I'm not a big contester. Yeah, there was a couple QSO parties this weekend, and last weekend I should say, and I made a couple contacts, and what have you. But a reason I say that is because when I look at a rig and when I touch a rig, even in my position and knowing about it, I always say, like, how easy is it for me to use to plug it in, turn it on, and start transmitting right away? And I'll be honest with you, it's a very, very simple rig to use. And there's also features built into the rig that not a lot of people would expect in a rig of this caliber. Example, we have an SD card slot in there. When you put that SD card slot in there, not only does it give you the ability to record messages. So when I was contesting, I was just hitting the replay button because I was like, CQ contest. Instead of me saying it over and over again, that's built right into the rig. Recording of conversations for receive and transmit. So I have a couple conversations that my dad was talking to my children there, on the radio and stuff like that. And I wanted to record it, to see how it was and listen to it. Amazing features on there. So you want to do basic, simple stuff on there? That's great. You can do that. If you want to do more advanced stuff, you got that too. But I think one of the other things too, Tim, which is really a nice feature of it, is for those that want to get into FT8 or wanted to get into some data modes. The FT710 has a built-in sound card. So once again, not needing to buy expensive additional equipment, you literally run a USB from your computer to the radio. The settings are listed in the manual for setup. The settings on, WSJTX, are really simple and easy to do on there. And you're good to go. So whether you want to try a different mode, whether you're getting in it for first time, it really fits the bill all over.
So, and the great thing is we have them in stock now. We were back ordered, but we've got plenty of stock. So the 710 at that price point, John, it's just super attractive.
Yeah, and and like I said, it just fits so many different bills for people's usage. I'm getting emails from people that have said, "Hey, can you explain this to me? Explain this to me." And when people are emailing me, I'm going and saying, "You know what? Curiosity, what are you using for?" And I hear people, once again, a nice guy from actual Wisconsin up here, he bought one. And he's going on down to Arizona now because that's his time of the year. The first couple snowflakes started to fall up here, and he's headed down to Arizona. And he says, John, it's so nice because I got it in the motorhome. And he's like, I bought the mobile mounting bracket with it. He says, I just mounted in there. I don't have to worry about it. When we pulled over somewhere, he's like, I went along and put the mobile vertical up and everything. And he says, I was on talking, HF like that. He's like, there's no other rig that can really do that. And I said, you're right. It's there. And once again, you got POTA, you got MCOM. I've had a few people who have contacted me from different ORC clubs and groups and saying, we're looking at this for MCOM. How does it relate to this and this? And kind of walk through them on there. And it's just an amazing, I kind of sort of call it the HF Swiss Army radio, really, because great receiver performance, multiple modes, all the stuff for even a small package. That's affordable too.
Yeah, and very affordable, and the portable part, the parks on the air, John, that you talked about, and that you've been living is really good. So, any more exciting things happening at Yaesu that you can talk about?
Well, lots of these things these days, people are actually looking at going ahead and like, how can I remotely operate? And not so much now, just like away from home, but remoting operation through the home itself. And we're going to be coming out with some videos here pretty quick here on our SCU LAN 10 unit, which, by the way, is also integratable to the Yaesu FT710. So if you follow me on Facebook and stuff, you'll see me. I've been doing some great videos on there and little snapshots where I'm sitting outside on the porch or by the little campfire ring in the house, and I'm using my laptop away from my radio, going through a Wi-Fi network I have set up in the house here, and I'm talking on HF from my laptop, there, my Windows laptop, doing that. So we have some of the great videos on there. We do have our repeater program that started up, And guess what? What goes nice with our repeater program? Going ahead and great Yaesu radios. We've had a lot of people kind of looking at and saying, hey, what are some good MCOM radios to use? So we're going to have some interviews in our podcast starting up again, talking about all those great things on the Yaesu the Radio Show.
Well, that is super, John. John, thanks so much for coming on today with us. And we're all excited about the new FT710 and all the exciting features. And we wish you the best. And, you'll be on soon again with more exciting news from Yaesu, I'm sure.
Yep.
All right. And thanks to all the viewers and all the great comments in the chat room today. And we'll see you tomorrow. We're going to have Adrian, KO8SCA. He's going to be talking about Bouvet, the United Nations, lots of great DXpeditions tomorrow afternoon at 20 Zulu. Tune in to the weekend special. Until then, 73 from DX Engineering.